concluded that anybody from the audience can come and ask one question pertaining to what's on the agenda.
One question.
One question. It's in, look up on the pre-council. There's a certain section in there that talks about
Prior to the
what can take place at pre-council.
Oh, it's not on the pre-council meeting.
No, it's in the regular council. It's chapter 2,
Section 3.
section
It's in
3,
there. I don't know
yeah.
I
where-
think it's 3.
Attendance, agenda.
But the decision, if y'all want to change it,
Article
is up
F.
to y'all, but right now, it's that way.
Subsection F, sorry.
It's not in there.
Well, that one is not the same document.
Well, it is, it's just a sort of revision from the 08
Well, I just,
67. We didn't take anything out.
Well, I don't know if it's, because the one that I have on the computer is, I went back and
Questions like
and
that,
reviewed, which
y'all
was
need
the
to
last
ask-
one.
You can ask them.
But
We didn't take anything
Yeah,
out.
but it says
Yeah.
that a person can answer, they can ask one question that's on the agenda. That's all they can, and then they can be answered. And then everybody else who, if it's 30 people out here, they all have a chance within the time limit to ask that one question.
But see, all of that changed based on the different form. The
The
presiding
ordinance
officer has that discretion.
No,
They have that discretion.
The ordinance, the ordinance is not being.
Does it change?
In his ordinance.
Yes, yes, it is.
Original ordinance right there.
Yes, this is the original ordinance.
That's not the original.
Oh, this is not?
No, I amended the
Yeah,
original.
he amended the original, so the
So that hasn't
original,
been passed yet. 2008-67 is still the
I
one.
looked it up.
Okay.
and that's a permanent, it's a permanent document because it hadn't been.
And I can send you 2008-67.
Send me 2008, and I can say right now, we don't need that. We don't need it.
Well, that was the decision that the council, the previous council decided to do. It was,
And they were correct.
Right, and you're bound under those until you pass your own.
It has to be amended or rescinded.
Right.
And until it's amended or rescinded, it's still in effect.
And the current ordinance says that during city council meetings, I think it's subsection F, that there is allotted time for citizens to come forward and bring concerns about the city, ask questions about things, or submit
And see,
options for agenda items.
as far as the current ordinance, that's,
Yeah,
all of that
that's true.
changes.
But
All of that
then,
changes though, doesn't it change?
We have to change.
You have to change
the
it.
section that Ron is talking about is correct.
I've got it right here, Bobby.
It says any individual corporation or whatever has a right to be able to bring something, to have it reviewed by the council to determine if they want it to be
Current law is in place now.
Okay, well.
agenda item or if they want it to be discussed under
That's
public
what it
comment.
says, 2 minutes.
Yeah,
That's,
but
that's what, that's what occurred. And then the presiding officer has the right to determine where it goes on the agenda.
Right.
That's the,
Not whether it goes on the agenda, but where it
where
goes.
it goes.
Right.
If it's submitted in person.
That's per person.
Yeah, 2
Okay,
minutes.
but now that's, this is,
True.
but now this isn't during the council meeting, this is during the pre-council meeting. Once we get through
Yeah,
discussion.
you did say
Yeah, and
pre-council.
they can come and ask, at the council meeting, they can come and make a statement. In the pre-council meeting, they can come and ask
Well, it
questions
does
about the
say,
council.
it does say 2 minutes in the pre-council.
Yeah.
Can you send that, can you send that to me?
Sure.
Okay.
Yep.
That's,
Yeah, somewhere along the lines, you changed
It says
it.
that they're allowed to ask questions, a limit of 2 minutes per question. Now, that doesn't limit the amount of time that it requires to answer that question.
it says
It just
question
limits
and
the amount of
answer
time.
session. Yes, it does.
The question and
Question
answer shall
and answer.
be,
It's 2 minutes, question and answer. That's combined.
Okay, so 1 minute for the question, 1 minute for the
No,
answer.
that's not how the ordinance written.
Now, I'm looking at the ordinance.
Trust me, I know the ordinance.
following the pre-council meeting,
I'm reading.
discussion of agenda items and prior to regularly scheduled city council meeting, the time permitting, the public in attendance will be permitted to ask one question on an agenda item only. The question and answer that they ask will be limited to 2 minutes and will be answered by the mayor, council member, committee chairman, professional consultant, or sponsor of said agenda item unless deferred to another person to respond. No follow-up or second question by the same person on the same agenda item or other agenda item will be permitted unless all other persons with questions on the agenda item, on an agenda item have an opportunity to ask their question. At no time shall the question or answer period during the pre-council meeting encroach upon the time of the regular city council meeting.
That's what I'm saying, you have to start the meeting at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
So, okay, so if we've got 30 people and they wanna ask a question,
7 o'clock, city council
so
starts.
they have to sit down
They have
and,
to sit down.
That's the if time allows. If our pre-council went right up till 7 o'clock, there
Then
wouldn't
they
be any
wouldn't get to
time.
ask.
They wouldn't.
Right,
Because it
which it
says
has,
as
okay.
time allows.
Allows.
You know, if we got 20 items, there probably won't be any time.
You know what, that'd be a good question to ask, because even though that's an old ordinance, and yeah, we are following the ordinance that we have in place, but what supersedes, does anything supersede an ordinance that we have in place if a different form of government is in place?
Well, state law would, but
Yes,
state
state
law doesn't necessarily govern each aspect of the meeting. That's what the ordinance is for, so.
Okay.
And if the ordinance doesn't govern that part of the meeting, the city has adopted Robert's Rules of Order to be the thing that dictates what happens.
Okay.
Right now, according to this ordinance, somebody comes up after, at the end of our discussion in pre-council, and time permits, they are required by city ordinance we're required by city ordinance to let them ask questions about any item on the agenda.
2 minutes.
Mr. President.
Yes.
But you can't, if you have several people waiting at 7 o'clock to come up, at
Well,
7 o'clock,
and
cut off right
that's
there.
right.
That's right, but up until that point, anybody that wants to ask a question about an agenda item can come forward and ask the question of the council, mayor, or any.
Mr. President,
Yes.
if I could just mention one item extremely briefly. I've had a couple of complaints to citizens about the sign down crossing Crestwood Boulevard, the sign that's as you first cross over to the Irondale side, that has plaques with different people's
I'm
names.
already working on that.
Okay, I just had a couple call and say that their former parents weren't up there
They took
anymore.
them
Theirs
down to
were done.
repair
Okay, they are repaired.
them. They're repairing them.
Yeah.
That's what's going on.
The new sign supposed to go in, that's why, that we come.
I haven't heard from the graphics designer, but they will be taken down and our
Okay,
new
but
sign
the
will be
ones
put
where
up.
people donated money and that's
They're
going
repairing
back
those.
up with the,
Some of them were broke.
okay.
Yeah, they are.
And they had to take them down and repair them. Donna Newsom is taking them down. And I
The
asked them to
broke
repair.
ones are being repaired?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the mayor are well aware of that situation.
Okay,
Yeah,
nobody,
well,
no, I'm just starting to get calls, and nobody's made me aware of
But
it.
they've been taken down to be repaired.
Okay.
Because some of them were broke and hanging sideways.
I'll be glad to pass that along, I just wasn't aware of it.
And I have requested that be painted, and so it can be, look a lot better, and
We're fixing to brick anything that's out of place, we're working on.
Okay, great, then I know what to tell folks, that's all I need.
And isn't there a fee charge to have your name, a yearly fee charge,
I
annual
think
fee
they have to
charge?
pay for it, I don't know about the
There's an
fee.
annual fee, for what I understood.
I think the
for
city
everything.
has took up maintenance
I
on
think
it.
they gave it though, well, I got a call today from it, and the person who called said that their parents purchased, that something about when Irondale, something, I forgot what
It's
they
like a
said,
$500
happened
donation.
in Irondale, but their parents purchased it, and they just paid one.
The whole deal?
one time.
Yeah, it was like
one time.
$500 one
Yeah.
time.
Yeah, well, for to have your name there, what I understood,
We do
there's
the
an
maintenance,
annual,
I've already checked
there's
that.
an annual fee to keep your name there.
Yeah.
That's not true.
We do the maintenance, I've already had somebody look into that, and we do the maintenance on it. And I've ordered them to be, the broke ones to be taken down and fixed.
Need to be replaced, you can't repair some of them.
Well, I'll just pass that along.
Whatever
folks,
needs to
that's
be.
no problem.
Well, and let me say this, speaking of that, the business owners are supposed to be drawing up a new sign, and that's where it's going to be put up, if we can work it out. Now, what we need to find out is where these citizens that have their names or their parents' names, where they would like to see these signs moved to, whether that be in the triangle, or we could put them up in the triangle green space. You know, we need to be kind of thinking about that.
I'll email it to you.
I think that'd be a good idea, there's so many people affected, it might be a good idea. there's a water bill addendum or something.
Yes, just to say, you know,
Because that's the only way
yes.
to contact the maximum number of people.
Because this is gonna be a big sign and it's going to be, it's gonna take up that
And the
whole.
reason they're missing is because they were broken, and we took it down and they're repairing it.
Mr. Mayor, I believe you, I just didn't know what to tell them.
Okay.
It's a work in progress.
Since we having too many meetings, do we have anything else?
And
Council, so we
one
can
thing
go
for us,
through?
the parks, there's a soccer group wants to rent, Elliott Park
Okay.
every Sunday. He's gonna send me the contract and I'll get that to you guys. And then we'll discuss it in the next work session.
Yeah, they'll need to have some kind of liability.
And he's gonna send me the liability insurance and also the, contract will look over.
Yeah, that's just a matter of agreeing on the budget.
Right. I think that they will charge like $100 a Sunday.
That's not bad.
It's good money going back into the park.
And going back into he'll go back into, Donna Newsom for maintenance,
Yes.
for,
And they need to leave it like
Well,
they found it.
me and the finance, we'll decide where we're going. That's the way I line up.
Well, I mean, like litter and.
Council, y'all have any other questions?
No,
No.
we're good.
Okay, if no other questions, meeting adjourned.
Thank you.
All right.